Namaskaram and welcome to the third episode of Yatra Stories. Today I'm going to take you to Isha Yoga Center, Coimbatore for the third part of the story. So I was in the ashram in 2018 towards the end, and early 2019 I was doing my Hatha Yoga programs in the ashram. So although I had been meditating and going to different various places, most commonly to Ramana Maharshi ashram before getting initiated into Shambhavi Mahamudra. So once I traveled to the ashram to learn the Yogasanas program, and I had a plan that after completing the program at the ashram, I was planning to go to Goa. So I'd already booked the hotel, the flights, everything to Goa from Coimbatore. The day I completed the Hatha Yoga program, the Yogasanas class, I was just heading towards the exit. So as I going outside, it was in the evening, I found out that I was already feeling so good at the ashram. So I realized that there was no need to go to Goa, because at the end of the day we're traveling from one place to another only because we're not fulfilled. We're looking for something more exciting. So I changed my mind and then went back in and then asked that, if I could enroll into a volunteering activities at the ashram, and it was quite easy at that time. Nowadays it's quite challenging due to a lot of demand. A lot of people, a lot of meditators want to volunteer at the ashram. Because of that reason, it's very difficult to get enrolled into the volunteering activities on arrival. Now you need to register beforehand and get approval before you go to the ashram. So at the time, I had the opportunity to volunteer at various activities, for example, Viksha Hall, tree care, Linga, and so on. So one of the activities that was quite intense was the Yogeshwar Linga volunteering, because it used to go from early morning till the late evenings. It would end around 9. Although the temple would close by 8, we need to clean up the entire premises, the temple, and then close it down by 9 p.m. So to be frank, I was not used to the volunteering activities, although I used to consider myself a seeker, but I know I had a lot of limitations. I used to want to meditate and do a bit of yoga, but not much into the karma yoga or the volunteering. So by the time I got into the Yogeshwar Linga volunteering, I have already done a little bit of other volunteering. But by the time I reached to the Yogeshwar Linga volunteering, it was the first day for me for the volunteering, and it was on Sunday. Sunday basically means the weekend, and the largest amount of the crowd they visit the ashram or the Adi Yogi. They may or may not know the Yogeshwar Linga initially or the ashram is there, but they are there for the Adi Yogi statue, which is the largest bust in the world, recognized by Guinness World Records. So coming to the story, As you know, on Sunday, the footfall is very high at the Adi Yogi. People come to have the selfie with the Shiva Adi Yogi himself, most of them. So we're just doing volunteering, and the time arrived for the morning for the breakfast. So since there were like a limited number of volunteers, so we had to go to the Viksha hall and then come back. And if you have been to the ashram, you know the distance from Viksha hall to the ashram, and Viksha hall to the Adi Yogi, and Adi Yogi to the Viksha hall. You have to go all the way to Sarpavasal and Surikun, and all the way to Viksha hall and come back again. So at the time, it was a pilot program for the Sadhanapada also. So there were Sadhanapada participants who were volunteering with me together at the Yogeshwar Linga. And they had a bicycle with them, but I didn't have, so I had to walk all the way. And being a long distance, just walking there, just making on time before the door opens. And if you have not been to the ashram before, you need to know that the doors opens for a limited time just before the food is served at the Viksha hall. If you come late, the door are closed for you. You have to wait for the next session. So I went over there, and then I had my breakfast and came back rushing, coming back as quickly as possible. When I came, I found out that the volunteers were quite angry because I was not there. I did my best to go and come back as quickly as possible, but the crowd was so much that it became very overwhelming for the volunteers over there. So after that, as the day progressed, the crowd increased tenfold. The slowing down was not there. There was no sign of slowing down. It was a Sunday, of course. And towards the end of the day, again, we have to go to for the dinner also. So the same thing happened. I went to the Viksha hall, and on the way back, a few things played in my mind as, I was thinking that why I am doing all this, because one thing was, I was thinking that volunteering activities should be joyful or something. This is the limitation I had within myself. And as I coming back, I was just passing towards the Dhanalinga from the Viksha hall, and these thoughts crawled in my mind that I would have been in the Goa, swimming, having in the sun, basking in the sand, and so on. But why I'm doing this? Or possibly even if I was in Bangalore, I would be doing something else more productive. That was, some thoughts played in my mind. And as I reached the Yogeshwar Linga, Adi Yogi, and we continued with the volunteering. Everybody was joyful and everything, and finally 8 p.m. I was really, really tired because I was not used to that kind of activity for a long time. I was just sitting in front of the computer, and I've just started the Hatha Yoga programs. Mostly I was doing meditation, and I was not used to that kind of activity. So these kind of things was playing in my mind, and at 8 we had to wrap up, and we closed the temple for the visitors, and started with cleaning up. And as we are cleaning up, we had to scrub the floor. And as we are scrubbing the floor, although we are chanting entire day Yoga Yoga Yogeshwar, we just started chanting while scrubbing the floor, and then as we all started chanting Yoga Yoga Yogeshwar, and boom, something happened. Miraculously, This is what I think the karma yoga can do to you. It actually prepares you. So somewhere I give into the process and explosive kind of experience happened. Open eyes. I didn't even try to meditate or nothing. But the Yogeshwar Linga got hold of me. The tears were falling, the body was in ecstasy, full of energy was flowing through my body. And we started scrubbing, and then we cleaned up everything. And by the end of the day, when we were done cleaning up the temple and about to walk towards the dormitories for the volunteers, I knew the significance of Karma Yoga. I knew firsthand. And as I moved into the dormitory, I could see people lying on just a yoga mat, no cots. Some of them had got like Dunlops or something, but many of them were just like sleeping just on a yoga mat with basic necessities, not even a blanket. So when you're fulfilled and just by being or just by whatever, then the comforts does not become the primary thing in life. I then realized that how the volunteers can go on, because these are the people who are not getting paid, nothing, but they're just fulfilled. They're just fulfilled. I'll not go too much far from here. So by the end of the volunteering activities, after many days of the volunteering, I had to go back to Bangalore. And then at the moment I reached to the bus stop next day, a conductor was there, waiting for all the people. I had already booked the bus online. And the moment we were about to go over there, the guy just came on screaming angrily to all the other people. I do not know, like he was furious. And actually I was shocked and everything, because this was like a paradigm shift for me, because for the first time in my life, I was quite surprised why this guy was angry. And this was the blessing of and the opportunity that was bestowed on me by Sadhguru and Isha Foundation, that I was able to do volunteering at the ashram. That you can see all the joyful people all around the place, consecrated space, and it can actually do, you can use the word miracle or transformation. And while I was traveling in the bus, I was looking for the people all around me in the same bus, and I could see the level of unawareness people go through in their life. And everyone needs to engineer themselves or inner engineering in one way or the another. And this was one of the things I had to share, because it was quite intimate that after many years we got the privilege to be in the presence of Sadhguru, and were able to consecrate Yogeshwar Linga at Chikkabalapur, Sadhguru Sannidhi, Bengaluru. And while we're consecrating, if you're part of the event, you know how it unfolds. But I'll just share a little bit of part towards the end. So before the consecration ended, and the moment the consecration ended, I could feel the clear difference in the environment and the ambience, even from far off. So this is the power of living in the consecrated spaces. And I hope Sadhguru is going to consecrate more Yogeshwar Linga in the future. And of course, as long as it is possible, I'll be there, because I got a very intimate relationship with the Yogeshwar Linga. So if you are in Isha Yoga Center and if you are visiting Adi Yogi, please spend at least few minutes or 5-10 minutes sitting in front of the Yogeshwar Linga. It will bring transformation in you in ways you cannot imagine. Namaskar.